Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now, coming up in today's podcast, we're going to be looking at the big match on the weekend, the Manchester Derby. And here to help us dissect this game, we have returning to the podcast, Sir Cole.
Good afternoon, and subscribers. Glad to be back.
Yes, indeed, Sir Cole. We also have Carey.
Yes, viewers and subscribers. Back on the platform. Many blessings to the subscribers. Continue to like, share, subscribe.
And we also have Christophe.
Good to be back again, viewers.
Yes, indeed, gents, a full house to dissect this big one. Sir Cole, I'm going to come straight to you off the bat on this one. You know, the Manchester United fan. We see Man City taking on Manchester United. You could say all eyes of the EPL will be on this game. How do you see this one, Sir Cole? Can Manchester United do the impossible and pull off a win versus the might of Man City?
We have seen in the past where even though Man City now starts as favorites, somehow Man U, especially under Ole, we now want to get something from this game. Even though in times past as well we have gotten some big beatings. However, I think this time it's a derby game. Both teams will be giving it their all. Manchester City will start again as favorites, but I think Man U will put up a good fight for this one.
Indeed, I mean, this game should favor the Manchester United style, Sir Cole. I mean, they are the classic counter-attacking team, and the expectation is that Man City will dominate possession, forcing Man U to play on the counter. So it should play in their hands. What, as you mentioned, Ole was famous for this, and it seems as if Ten Hag has really, favored a similar tactic as well.
Well, yeah, mind you, we have had a scare now in terms of injury, so we are missing our chief scorer. That being said, it does hamper our attack a bit, I think. If others can step up, if Rashford can find some form, then probably we can get something from the game. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that come Sunday we can find something.
Yes, indeed. Sunday is the big day. But Kerry, I mean, Man City running high at the top of the table alongside Arsenal and Liverpool. Can United do Arsenal a favor, Kerry, and peg City back?
Well, they would do Arsenal and Liverpool a favor. Let's not forget that. Both of us will be done a favor. But I believe Man U can do it. We have seen in previous seasons where, despite how poorly United have been, they go into the derby and somehow even if it's a draw, that's a good result for them, especially the type of City team that we're seeing. No, I know this is a time of the season where City goes on some incredible runs, winning 15 or going 20 matches undefeated on the bounce. So it's going to be tight, but United, when it comes to the Manchester Derby, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get from United. Of course, City are the favorites. There's that. I mean, that's common sense. No, City are the favorites. They're still the favorites to win the league. So of course they're the favorites to win this match. But we can hope that United can make it interesting. But if Pep Boys really, really come out on full display, then it can also be disastrous for United fans. And we saw what happened midweek when Pep put all his guys there and KDB and Haaland really went at it. One grabbing 4 assists, one grabbing 5 goals. So we know that these guys have the potential to even make that game a 6-0.
Well, for this one, I'm leaning more towards the disastrous side for Manchester United, in all honesty. Christophe, how do you see this one? I mean, how are you seeing it? Can Man United pull off a shock win?
Can they pull off a shock win? Maybe,
Yes.
maybe. But you have to say City are heavy favorites, and with them in form at the moment. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Ten Hag said he feels like his side could beat anybody, only to get beaten by Fulham the following week. So it's a question mark. It's the type of game where Manu, who can only break teams down under counter attack, would do well against Man City, who are going to dominate possession, dominate the play. The problem, I think, for Manu is not their counter attack is pretty good, pretty good. Pep is not going to play a low block, so they will have the chance to counter. The problem for Manu is, are these players motivated? Are they willing to play? Because that's what we've seen week in, week out, where maybe we see they play well, but they have players that are just not performing at the level that is expected, or they're playing they don't care, you know? The likes of maybe a Rashford. And I mean, I really liked Bruno Fernandes, but I don't know what has happened to him the last 2 seasons. So it's a case of will the players have the heart, the desire to try and beat City, or are they just going to get beat?
Yes, some fascinating questions there, Christophe. Hopefully, Sir Cole can shed some light on some of those questions. The question is, Sir Cole, can the Manchester players really step up and put in that stern, workman-like performance, which is going to be required to get anything out of this game? Can they stand the test defensively and then try and pin something on the counter? Is the question. What's the tactical approach, Sir Cole? How do you think Ten Hag will set up for this one?
Well, we already know the approach, but as I had suggested for the Liverpool game, which I accurately said that if Manu could weather that first half hour, then we'll be, you know, in the game. I think the template is still the same for this one. Should be able to get you that first half hour at 0-0. I think our chances of coming away with something get greater with each minute that passes. Mind you, Man City, if we going by the scoreline in the game yesterday, ran riot against Luton. However, actually, if you look at the Luton team, even though Luton has been giving away goals all season, it was merely a Luton B team. Because it seems that Luton has already accepted the fate that they would have lost. So, all right, but let's just play some youngsters and keep fresh for the league.
The league.
So really and truly, even though it is Luton and the Premier League team, it wasn't the full 11 that we have seen from time to time. So I really don't think that come Sunday that we'll be in for another 6 goal by Man City. Man, it is possible, but I really don't see it happening. Should we get you that first half hour? I don't think the scoreline will see us losing by more than 2 if we do lose.
Indeed, indeed. Definitely. I mean, that's a sound enough point there, Sir Cole. I mean, Luton did, I say, put up a fight. I mean, at no point were they in control of the game, but they did keep Man City on their heels or on their toes for that game in particular. Of course, Haaland finding some form and Kevin De Bruyne as well. But Kerry, I mean, from a Man City point of view, Kerry, this should be a straightforward win. I mean, should there be any fear from this Man City team for United?
Well, I think Pep would answer by telling you, yes, there is fear, because Pep is a man who we know Pep and the mind games. Pep will come out and Pep will say, boy, Ten Hag is a very good manager and Ten Hag has his
Well, I
days
mean,
when he
but
can really
Kerry, that's
galvanize.
regular talk. I mean, that's what you expect the manager to say to technically
Yeah,
gas
man.
up the other coach, so to speak.
Right. So just tell you what Pep would say, but in reality, Man City believe that they should win this match, especially that it's being played at Etihad. And seeing that Liverpool is on form, Arsenal is on form, they know that it's a must-win match. And I think they circled this match and probably has it, honestly, from their point of view, looking at the contrast in forms on both teams, it probably could be what we would refer to as a gimme match for City, especially being at home.
I'm not too sure about that. I mean, Manu will come with a sense of pride, I think. I mean, this is a big Manchester derby, Kiri. I don't expect Manu to just roll over and lie down to
But
this City team.
we have said that on multiple occasions. We have said that, and we have seen the results. So at this point in time, I'm not sure if those words carry much weight. You understand?
Ah, but Christophe, I'll come to you on this one. I mean, we hear the analysis, we hear the breakdown, but what is your predicted scoreline for this game? Who do you think will be the winner?
Me? Um, I I think it's a Man City win, but I think Man U, if they come and they fight, they have the potential to win, especially because they do play on the they're very effective on the counter attack, and they have better finishers than say Chelsea. They might want to take a look at how Chelsea played against Man City and go with that route. Man City look weak on the wings because of the inverting that those fullbacks do. So I would exploit the wings and utilize those for counter attacks because Man U have very good finishing up front. If they get the ball there, they tend to score. Right? They can't do anything else. They can counter attack and they can finish.
I mean, Christoph, I mean, speaking of finishing, I mean, the statistics will show your goal difference right now is what, zero?
It's zero. Yeah,
Right.
because first half of the season there, Onana and the defense were leaking goals, right? Can't do anything. Yeah, I mean, if you're leaking goals, you can't do anything. They are scoring goals, but they're leaking.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I believe the last check I checked the table, they had a goal difference of zero
Zero.
goals, and they were among the lead, one of the league lowest scorers, if memory serve me correctly, Sir Cole. Manchester United really isn't your high scoring team per se. I gather their success thus far has been built on a combination of scoring a few, but also keeping you could say a decent enough defensive setup.
Yeah, we had a very good defensive run, I think, probably between October and November, somewhere in there, when Harry Maguire came back in the team due to some injuries, and they really held a good defensive line. As we stated before, we haven't been the free scoring team as would have seen in times past. Holland is just finding his footing and seeing some form, and with that now has come an injury. So probably that setback has affected the team, primarily seen in the loss against Fulham. Let's see how they can adjust, if they can adjust and find a solution for the problems for Sunday.
Definitely. But in terms of your predicted score circle, what says you?
I think Manu will put up a decent fight, but I still think in the end that City will prevail. I'm calling a 3-2 win for City.
3-2 win for City, you're calling a fairly high scoring game circle, but still close. 3-2.
3-2.
Kerry, I'll come to you on this one. What's your predicted scoreline?
I would say a dominant 2-0.
A dominant 2-0. That's in favor of Man U, right?
Let's be real here, man. Man City.
So a dominant for me, Kerry. I think this is gonna be a fairly straightforward game. I'm not looking for any major upsets. I think Man City just gonna dominate this one. I'm looking at, I would say maybe 4-1, 3-1.
3-1. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
3-1.
somewhere in
Yeah.
that scoreline.
I
But
was
I think
thinking 3-1 as well.
I think Manu might not have the fight for this one, to be honest, looking at their previous game versus Nottingham Forest and subsequently versus Fulham, those performances don't really give me much
Yeah, man.
encouragement that then they can actually do the impossible and pretty much beat City. But I mean, as they said, the ball is round. Similarly, I didn't think Chelsea would get anything out of their game versus Man City, but again, they surprised and managed to hold out for a draw. But for me, I'm gonna call this one 3-1 for Man City. I think Man City should take this one
Yeah.
and pretty much maintain their status at, close to the top of the table right there.
Yeah, man. I
But
think 3-1 is a good show. 3-1 is a good show because let's be honest, Man City they haven't really been keeping clean sheets either. So they probably concede.
yeah, I mean, definitely for the neutrals, you would want to see both teams scoring and at least giving the neutrals some level of excitement. But as Sir Cole said, I just think the stronger team will eventually prevail in the end. And, at home, with the pressure on, in addition, I believe Liverpool should play in the earlier match as well. So that result may provide some level of motivation, whether Liverpool win, lose, or draw. I mean, it's going to be some sort of motivation for City. If Liverpool win, then you need to keep pace. And of course, if Liverpool lose or draw, then this is an opportunity for Man City to move one step closer and pretty much take over the lead in the table. So regardless of that earlier result in the Liverpool game, then it's going to provide motivation. And interestingly, the pressure then will be on Arsenal, who plays
Monday.
on Monday. So that should be a good test. I mean, of the Arsenal camp. Can they stand up to the pressure? What says you, Sir Cole? Can Arsenal hold out this time around, or will they crumble and fall again?
It's interesting, because last season, even though I probably wouldn't have said it, but I thought Arsenal was, before a ball was kicked last season, Arsenal, I think, looked good. I think they would have learned from um, their previous campaign, and even though in the end they really didn't get the title, they actually did put up a good fight. I'm thinking that their improvement will continue, and they will that gap at the top will be closer for sure. Arteta is finding a way to get the results. They really are clicking. We have heard it being said that a team needs an established number nine. You need your big striker. That is being thrown out the window. We are seeing Arsenal scoring their goals from variety of sources, through the middle, along from the left and right sides, the midfield contributing as well. So they have found a way to get goals, and I'm really thinking that come game week 38, Arsenal will be in the reckoning for that title.
Yes, definitely. I'm not. Well, they should be in contention, Sir Cole, but can they win? That is the question. Because at the end of the
Short answer,
day,
yes.
it's silverware we're talking about.
Yeah, fine. Short answer, yes.
Short
Not
answer,
will win.
yes.
They can win. They can win. Yes.
They can win. It's not a matter of if they
Yeah.
will win, but they can. They will give themselves an opportunity.
I go on a limb, and I say at the end of the season, Arsenal will be within 3 points of first place.
Mm. But that may very well have them finishing in third circle.
It very well could, but I think that they'll be within 3 points of first place.
What, what says you, Carey? Can Arsenal hold out to the pressure this time around? I mean, this should be a first big test, playing on Monday after all the other teams have played, this is an opportunity really where, based on results on the weekend, they will know what they have to do. Can they stand up to the pressure this time around? Would they have learned from last season, or, crumble and fall again?
Well, I believe so. I believe that playing the match on Monday should not be an issue, barring whatever results we get from Liverpool or Man City. Um, not not discrediting Sheffield, but this is a match that need to be won, regardless of if it was the first match of the weekend or the last match. It's a match that needs to be won. A matter of fact, I can go to him and say Arsenal really needs to win the next 5 matches, which includes Man City and Porto. But I think they have the confidence right now. I mean, we have seen what they've been doing since January. coming into February, they've really been on a really good run. We're not short of goals. The defense looks solid. Yes, the 1 and 2 goals may sneak in, but defense looks really solid. So I think right now the confidence is being built. We see Saka returning to some form, Martinelli returning to some form, Odegaard is playing some sublime football. So I think we should be able to get all 3 points come Monday. And I don't think the results should really affect them because at this point in the season, whether Liverpool or Man City win, lose, or draw, what you need is the 3 points. So right now, you can't really focus on what's going on around you. Just take it one game at a time, get the 3 points, move on.
But
Experience.
just to jump in a bit, if I may, you mentioned pressure. I mean, it's really hard to see the team in second place saying they're under pressure playing team in 20th. I really don't see the pressure that you're talking about.
Well, the
Really
pressure isn't
routine.
necessarily from the team per se, Sir Cole. It's
Yes,
more, yeah, it's more the results from the previous week, I mean, but I mean, the ball is round, stranger things have happened, and that pressure may be telling even against one of the worst teams in the league, in all honesty, players get a bit more edgy, a bit more rushed, mistake starts to creep in, that sort of thing. So even with one of the poorer teams, you as a player or a team seeing the results of the previous, match week or the other teams ahead of you, let's say they win, it therefore means that there's a little added dimension of pressure for you to get a result, when maybe before that wasn't necessarily the case, but
Yeah, truth be told, as Carey said, if they were playing the first game of the game week on Saturday morning, it will still be the same. So I really don't think there's any pressure at all.
indeed, time will tell. But Christophe, I'll bring you in at this point. I mean, Arsenal is your team, Christophe. Can they finally win a trophy after the Wenger era?
Arsenal have won trophies after Wenger. What are you
No,
talking
I
about?
mean, the EPL, you guys are now, what, 20, 30 years haven't won the
No,
league?
we're not quite Liverpool level as yet. Of drought at the moment. Not quite Liverpool levels of drought at the
Oh, but
moment.
how many years has it been since you guys have lifted a league title?
Well,
It's over
it's
20 years though.
no,
no,
it's
no,
it's
no,
20.
no, no,
20.
no. It's not 20. It's not 20.
Yeah, I mean, the
Next year,
last time
no,
was
no. If we
2003.
no,
Oh,
03,
three,
oh
oh, four.
04. So it's 19
Right.
years. 19
Oh,
years.
okay, all
So
right.
we have this year to salvage that.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you see that changing this year, Christoph? I mean, we are now what? We are into game week 27, which means we are 11 games out from, the season end. Things should be shaping up now.
So as to the point you were asking about earlier, I don't think Arsenal playing on Monday puts any pressure on them. I think, as a matter of fact, it makes it easier for them to go and perform. Um, they're the team in third place, and they'll be playing the bottom of the table, Sheffield, who is not in any form, and we haven't seen much fight out of them. This is a type of game where Arsenal are, if you're going to be title winners, you press on the gas in this type of match, and you drop. It doesn't matter how much you
Five,
drop.
six.
5-6 is what I would say based on the form that Arsenal are showing right now. But if you win 2-0, 3-0, it's fine. You just need to get those 3 points. And this is the type of game where 3 points is almost no result other than a win can happen here. But I think there's less pressure on them because they will know exactly what needs to be done based on, regardless of the result on the weekend. Um,
Indeed. I think the
I,
team that might be under a bit more pressure is Liverpool, Christoph, with all the injuries and the fatigue they may be facing at this point in time.
Definitely, I think Liverpool is under immense pressure right now with all the injuries. Fortunately for them, they have a weaker opponent on this weekend, so they could benefit from that. The youngsters seem to be doing very well. This is an opportunity for them to continue and help push on and maybe collect a Premier League medal. Um, Even though Man City are the favorites still, I think. I do feel Arsenal right now have have what it takes to win the league. I and I think it will probably go down to final day. But I think it's a case of not only will the players perform, but will Arteta tinker with the team, or will he say, "Hey, I like how this team is performing. Let me continue with them and only make a minor change, maybe here or there for an opponent." But I think the team that he's been playing, that midfield of Jorginho, Declan Rice, and Odegaard needs to continue. Um, Whoever he chooses up front, whether that be Kai Havertz or Trossard, have been performing well. So I think you continue with that for the time being, until it's not working. Continue until it's not working.
Indeed, indeed. If it's not broken, then don't change it, but
Exactly.
But question, Christophe, quickly. Timber and Partey, by next week or two, they will be fully fit.
Yeah, but they're not going to start immediately. You wheel
Right.
them back into the side.
Right. So do you see Timber coming in on that left side anytime soon? I've said after 2 weeks, them fit, they take a time working. Do you think we hand back Timber that starting spot, or even Partey? Partey coming back, does Georgina go back to the bench, or
No, I think
Jesus
Georgie.
coming back as well? What
No, no,
happens to
no, no, no,
Havertz?
no. Jorginho has earned his start. He has performed well when called upon, and continue with him until that is no longer the case. Partey, I mean, Partey does do well in the midfield. He adds stability to the team, definitely. But if your midfield that you have right now is working, do not change it. You can use Partey later in games. You bring him on, you see what he's doing, you see how he performs, and then that is how you know if he gets to start the next game or the game after that. Same with Timber. I don't expect them to start immediately.
yes,
No, man,
indeed.
I agree.
With players coming back, I mean, the apple cart may be upset, That is the
But
problem when you
it,
have too many options to choose from, Sir
but
Cole.
it's a good, at this
It
point, I
might
would say it's a
upset the
good
apple
problem
cart.
to have. It's a very good problem to have right
It's a
now.
good problem to have, I think, at the start of the season. I
I
don't think
think
it's a good
Liverpool would
problem to
like to
have
have
when
that
it comes
problem
to
right now.
crunch time. When it's boiling down, that's where,
Wouldn't
as you
Liverpool
say,
like to
tweak.
have that problem right now?
Yeah, Liverpool injury list is very long, but as you correctly said, the kids seem to be getting the job done, but it's just a matter of question, can they continue to rely on the sort of bare bones squad which they currently have working with, and with so many youngsters,
Oh,
oftentimes it's a
absolutely not.
case of consistency that comes in. So if these youngsters can buy a bit more time for the more senior players to get fit, then
I
that would be
mean,
wonderful.
they have
So
about
this
two
is
games
another
to
good
buy time
test.
before they face a challenge.
Right.
Because
Right, this is another good test.
I don't think you
Hopefully
want to
they
be
can get
going
over this
into.
hurdle.
I don't think they want to be going into that Man City game without without so many key players.
And that Man City game is what? Basically a week and a half. The 10th,
Yeah,
the
on
10th
the
of
10th,
March, I
right?
think.
A week and a
Mm.
half.
Mhm.
Time is the master. Time is the master. But final thoughts, Sir Cole, on this weekend's action. Any final thoughts?
Well, the Manchester Derby will always be the talking point of any weekend, I think. Mind you, there are other interesting fixtures around, but come Monday, let's just see what how teams would come out from the weekend, and I hope Manu can find something and somehow move up the table.
I hope
Indeed,
so too.
indeed, definitely. Time is the
I hope
master.
so too.
Kiri, what says you? Your final thoughts?
Yeah, man. I would say the Manchester Derby, of course, is the most watched match for the weekend. However, I think Forest might pull out a draw. I think Nottingham will kind of slow down Liverpool this week, and that is just my gamble. I'm going for a 2-2 in that match, actually. Actually, see Forest getting something from that match. So I think that is going to be an interesting twist on the title race for this weekend. I mean, to hold the table is positioned now, I think the main focus for everybody is the top three. Because we see what's happening at the bottom three, we kind of see who's seem to be doomed. I would say Everton got back some points other day. They move up to 15. So we know Everton kind of look safe to some extent. So I think our focus is on the top three right now.
Definitely. It's a very tight race for the title, definitely. And it may very well go down to final day. I mean, lots of twists and turns still to come, lots of games still to be played, So at this point in time, each week things could change, you know. So pretty much you as a team, you just have to try and do your job and let whatever else that is happening around you take care of itself. But Christophe, your final thoughts before we wrap things up.
I'm looking forward to this week of football. I think we will have some, let's say, interesting results on the weekend. While I expect Liverpool to beat Nottingham Forest, there is that potential for a draw there, I suspect. Um, I even though again I expect Man City to beat United, but I feel Man U might be able to pull something off on the weekend here. It's a case where Man U will play like rubbish for the entire season, but when they come up against rivals, they always seem to find that extra from somewhere. All right. So that's why I'm expecting. I don't expect them to just be beaten, especially because they were already beat at home. I'm expecting a much greater fight out of them.
Well, for
Yeah.
me personally, I expect Man City to play them off the park, and hand Ten Hag another defeat there, back-to-back defeat in the league. I'm anticipating. So I don't really expect much of a fight from this United outfit. Easy 3 points for City is my call. But there you have it, viewers and subscribers. I just like to thank Sir Cole, Carey, Christophe
Mhm.
for coming on board and sharing their thoughts and their opinions. Lots of football still to come and lots of games to play and of course to watch, and we'll be here to bring these games to you to preview and review. So continue to stay with us. Thanks again for tuning in. Continue to share, like, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, feel free to do so. But until next time, this is Rafa signing off.